we have an alarm circuit. If you see over there, there is the door sensor. It's just a magnetic switch, really. All it does is it's open when the magnets are not together, and it's closed when they are together. So that is connected, as we see, these two wires. I don't want to get too close to it because there's a motion sensor. One is to ground and one is to GP. Now we have a red wire and a black wire coming out of the Pico, as we see. So the red wire is going from the 5-volt source, and black is going from the ground. So we got several things connected in parallel here. So the first thing that's connected in parallel is that speaker. So it's this thing here. The red wire is connected to the 5 volts, the black wire connected to ground, and the white wire is connected to a GP. Then we have the NeoPixel right over there. Right now it's not doing anything because there is no alarm. When there is an alarm, it starts flashing red lights on and off. It's connected also to its red wire, as we see this one. It's connected to 5 volts. We've got it connected to ground as well over here. And then we have a green wire coming out of it that's connected to a GP of the Pico. Last but not least, we have the PIR sensor. That's the other thing, aside from the magnetic switch, that had to be purchased for the purpose of the project. That was not included in the E4S kit. So again, we've got the red wire connected to 5 volts, the black wire connected to ground, and we have the yellow wire that's connected here to a GP. Goes into here, and that's the motion sensor. Very well, and all of this is connected not to a computer, but directly into the power outlet. So, as far as testing is concerned, there are several moving parts, and testing is a little bit complex because one event triggers another, and triggers another. So, there's technically 5 tests to be had here, but they can be broken down into 2 bigger tests. So, bigger test number 1 is I wave my hand in front of that motion sensor. Question 1, that's one of the 5, so to speak, mini tests. Will the motion sensor even react? So, will something happen when I wave my hand? And it better, because if nothing happens, that means that there's a problem with the motion sensor. Now, motion sensor is connected in parallel, as I said, to the other components. So one of the other components was that speaker back there. Will that speaker make an audible alarm when I break the motion sensor? And well, we'll see about that. Also, the NeoPixel will start flashing red lights on and off. And last but not least, this has a Wi-Fi function that has that sends a notification to that phone I just showed when it's tripped. So, when I trip this thing, will I get a notification here? And will that notification say what type of alarm it is? Will it say specifically that it was a motion alarm? Let's find out. Okay, so something's happening. We got this red flashing light. We got the speaker. And we got the dings. So, speaker's working. Red flashing lights working. Motion sensor is obviously working because something happened, and we pull out the notification. Right now, motion sensor was stripped. And now let's ask ourselves the same question for the door sensor. So I've covered up the motion sensor so I don't trigger it by mistake. So similar 4 questions. Well, number 1, will the door sensor even work? So when I open the door, will something happen? Will I again get the audible alarm? Will I again get a flashing light? And this time, will I get a notification on here that says specifically that the door sensor was tripped. So let's find out. Audible alarm, flashing light. Door sensor obviously works, and we just got a notification. So right now, obviously, the door sensor was tripped. And there you have it, functional. So how could I make it better? Well, the obvious one, to get the OLED display, which I originally sacrificed. I had planned to do it, but I ran into trouble. And I actually ended up replacing the OLED with the Wi-Fi functionality of it. But to improve it, I could have both the Wi-Fi functionality and an OLED display integrated into this, so I had to figure out how to make it work. Another way to improve it, make it more secure. So I'm pretty sure that somewhere on at a fruit it's possible to buy a piece that's basically like a little keypad, so that I could encode so I can put some sort of a code on it, so that the alarm doesn't stop until you punch in the correct code. And the third way to improve it, possibly, speaking of code, well, is to do a little bit more than just have this upload information to a spreadsheet and then just trigger a push notification to a phone, but maybe have it host an HTML page or something like that. So it's possible to host a web page on a Pico, post something up in HTML, some site where you could possibly turn it on, turn it off, and also incorporate, maybe program up a little keypad on that website so that you could even control the thing remotely. So there it is, the final project, which is the alarm. Thank you very much. Goodbye.